evening. Welcome back to the Think It's All Over, your weekly football podcast that doesn't take itself too seriously. We have all the usual suspects in tonight. Myself, Liam, Crippy and Andy. How are we doing, gents?
All good, mate.
Good. It's another one of those shows where you think there's nothing to talk about because it's the end of the season, but Crippy still manages to find plenty of talking points to put on the running sheet. We'll start with the one that's already in your little witticism there. Stop moaning about these.
Yeah, it's pissing me off. It really is pissing me off. The Premier League had it good where we were able to snatch players from the league, from Barcelona, Real Madrid, because we had the money. They never cared then, but now Saudis are doing it to us. They're using money to lure players away from Europe. It's like, oh my God, they're ruining football. We have to ban them. Stop it. This is terrible. It's like you like it when it's in favour of you, but hate it when it's against you. So I'm getting so wound up with all the pundits. I think Gary Neville said they should be banned from transfers. I was like, how do you police that? What are you talking about? They don't have the same jurisdiction as they're not beholden to UEFA rules, are they, and stuff? It's madness from them. So yeah, really winding me up.
The players that they're taking are the ones that are coming towards the end of their careers anyway.
Ronaldo, Benzema, yeah.
And then any that aren't, they're just doing it for the money. They're mercenaries. Who gives a fuck? Let them get their payday. Let them go where they want.
Damari Gray, they're really going to cry about that. You can't blame them for if you're getting if a club's going to get 20 mil for a player like him, and then he's going to get a payday of like 100 grand plus a week. Of course, he'll take it. And it was ironic that Kante has made the switch because I get so annoyed with seeing all the memes about him being the most humble football player in the world. Oh, he doesn't care about money. He just wants to play. And it's like, shut up, mate. They all do care about money in some form. Yeah, he might not be as ruthless as other players, but he's gone to Saudi because he knows he'll get a nice retirement check at the end of it. So can we please stop talking about it like it's such a sin to, play for money when you do play football? And ultimately, a lot of players play for clubs that don't win anything, and they're on big money. So what's the difference?
What I don't understand is what they're crying for. Like, who's gone to Saudi that was ever coming to the Premier League anyway?
Yeah, and someone made a good point about Ruben Neves as well. When he went to Wolves from Porto when Wolves were in the Championship. So they talk about, oh, you've got no ambition. It's like, well, hold on. He only went to Wolves because they were offering him more money than at Porto. He went down a division to make the switch, and then you call it a lack of ambition now. And it's like, you got to shut up, guys. Honestly.
Tell him. I'll just keep my head out of it. Obviously, with us being owned by the Saudis, like we just get it. And then every time a player goes to Saudi, it's because he's getting loaned back to Newcastle.
Yeah, I've already seen you've been linked with Neves, haven't you? You've literally been linked with him, haven't you? For that, it's so funny.
It's not happening. That's not why we bought more clubs. It's because they've got too much money.
Yeah,
it just doesn't a fucking nut. But that kind of links in as well that you've got on here about the Premier League salary cap idea. I've seen that it's mainly that dude who took over Bournemouth, wasn't it? He started beating that drum recently. Being American, of course he did, because that's how we do it in the States. So everybody must do it the same way. It won't work.
I think they're going to have to, though, aren't they? They're going to have to do something because Man City are kind of taking the piss a bit with their wage structure at the club. You can't have players on like $500,000 a week now. Where does it end?
It's up to the club, though, at the end of the day.
Is that going to lessen the quality of players brought into the Premier League, though, if they're going to go elsewhere for more money?
If we're competing with Saudi, yes, but we can still spend more than every other top European division, can't we? The Liga are beholden to a salary cap. I think maybe PSG. Yeah, that's true. It will hamper, I'm sure, but I'm not saying a salary cap like really low. But I do think they're going to introduce something. It'll be relative to how much a club earns, I'm sure, but I'm sure they're going to bring in something just to try and make it more of a level playing field. Because otherwise, it will.
A couple of weeks back there, I think, when it was just me and you, Crippy, we mentioned it, and it had something to do with the cap for the top team will be based on the lowest team, sort of thing. So nobody could spend more than what the lowest team earned, or something weird like that. But yeah, I think we even said at the time, it's still that won't work.
No. But as much as the American system does get criticism, obviously they don't have relegation and they have all the caps and the kind of stuff. I do kind of like the idea of leveling the playing field a little bit, letting, so just so it sort of means that players will still choose other still decent clubs, but it just means that teams like Man City can't monopolize the market by just snatching, because they can just double a player's wages that any other club could do. I think they're just trying to stop them from running away with it, because when you've got a club that can generate all this money, say they're making all this money, they can literally just sign anyone they want, can't they? And if they don't play for them, they can loan them out or just stockpile. It will get to a point where it'll be out of control.
But it's like the comment just said then about securing the futures or whatever. I remember when Phillips left from us for City, and it said, loads of people on Facebook were saying, he's financially secure now for the rest of his life, blah, blah, blah. You're thinking, hang on a minute, he was on 60 grand a week at Leeds. If you can't live on 60 grand a week.
Yeah, he was doing all right, wasn't he? Yeah.
But I mean, you still see ex-footballers going broke now. So just because they have all that money, it doesn't mean they're going to be fucking sensible with it, does it?
It's because they still live, rather than live almost as if they're poor, they live with obviously higher expenditures and outgoings. So they'll have like a more expensive mortgage, where they won't buy a cheaper house in cash. They'll have a more expensive mortgage. So their outgoings will be thousands of pounds a week. What they're spending, and more so than that. So they're reliant to keep those wages up, because they've got so many sports cars and other commitments. And obviously I'm sure they have a lot of money that goes to family and friends to keep them afloat as well.
Yeah.
So now it does matter a bit more about it.
We've had that pay rise and then found like a month later that we're no better off, because you just live to your means. You don't even know you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, that's going to be harder to do when you're earning like 500 grand a week, but I'm sure you could find a way. I'm sure I could.
Definitely. I'd enjoy spending it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to find something to bring Liam into the conversation. He's been very bloody quiet.
I'm just a bit tired.
Mari Gray. 20 million for Mari Gray.
Yeah. I want to hear Liam.
I think it's a bit more than that, to be fair. I mean, we signed for 2 million 3 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago it was. It was a 3-year contract. We've got an option for another year. So in the final 12 months. And we get 25 mil. I mean, the rumour I saw was 30, because obviously of Neves, but take it all day. I'll give him a piggyback to Saudi Arabia if he wants it. Not like I don't like him, but he's a match of the day player. He's like Harrison for Leeds, Delafeu, who used to be the exact same. They're very, very good, but that's it. On match of the day, they're class, I'm their class, but he's 26 now, 27. So if we can get two more players from that, I'd take it all day.
And what club in England would give you half that money for Demarai Gray as well, isn't it? It's like, it really is the best deal you're going to get. We had that with Ings when West Ham gave us 20+ mil for him. It's like, we've just got to take it.
The Prem wants him as well. So if 3 teams in the Prem wanted him, and also they know Saudis are going to offer 20 odd minimum, surely they're going to have to match it. If he wants to stay in the Prem, do you know what I mean? Because we're not going to accept it, are we? So.
No, and Greg, he'll get paid inside, so he'll be more than keen to make that switch.
I mean, it'll be weird though if he does go, because the whole reason he signed for us is because he was homesick and missing his kids. That's why he left Germany. I mean, okay, it didn't help with COVID, but do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird. So if he goes to Saudi, it's going to be a bit, bollocks.
The thing is that Isaac Hayden said that as well at Newcastle. He was like, I want to live with be close to my family. Then he just stuck at Newcastle anyway. So I think for 2 years that was the story of him potentially leaving Newcastle to be closer to his family, and he never moved. So I was like, okay.
I'm sure the 100 grand a week will soften the blow.
Anyway. I mean, that's the thing. There's plenty of football. I think Mateus Pereira went over from West Brom, didn't he? When they went down.
He
was the first player that went over there, and he was a baller at West Brom.
Yeah, I liked him.
Obviously, Neves is he's coming into his prime. Is he 25, 26?
I think so, yeah.
Go there for a couple of years and then come back to the Prem, Serie A, anywhere, and he'd still boss it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, he's not even that good, to be fair. Not gonna lie. I'm not a stat person. He's a good player, but if you're looking at the stats, he's not that good. For what he's supposed to be, do you know what I mean?
Just before we came on, you sent a message to the group, Liam, about Everton actually turning down a bid because it's not enough.
Ellis Sims. I mean, it's just smart, but I don't know where Ipswich got all this money from, by the way. I mean, they're in League One, aren't they?
I agree.
Yeah. Championship, that would come up, didn't they?
Yeah, just come up because they signed Nathan Broder off us in January, so he left Wigan on loan to go down to League One, and it's just mad. I just don't know where they got all this money from for a Championship team. 4 million.
Yeah, they bought Leif Davies off us, a left back, for about $1.5 million last season.
Yeah, I think we sold Broder for $1.5 million, 2 million as well. So got a bit of money. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, I said before, like I'd take 6-7 mil if we get a buyback clause or percentage on something like that, because we don't do it. Like look, Anthony Robinson, we sold him 4 years ago to Wigan for like pennies. Yeah. 6 months later, he was linked to go to AC Milan, and now he's playing for Fulham, and now City wants him. It's like, come on.
It's true.
I mean, we had Baines and Digne in front of him, so he was never going to break into that team. But we should have had a buyback clause there. Yeah, every Everton fan at the time was like, we need to get him back. And it's like, shit for brains at the club. So
it's true, because City do it with even players they don't think are going to be that good. They'll do it with any young player they get rid of. They make sure they'll either get a 20% sell-on fee if he gets sold on, or like say a buyback clause. They did it with Douglas Luiz, and they were never going to sign him back because their midfield was solid. But they make sure they've got all their bases covered if a player leaves, which is smart.
With LFAU. When we signed LFAU from Barcelona, we had him on loan. Then we got him for like 4 mil, and then they bought him back for 11. Like they knew he had that potential.
Yeah, just needed to play.
After that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, what club is it in Portugal who have just ridiculous buyout clauses for players? They set it at like 80 million for all of them, even youth players. It's one of the Portuguese clubs. Can't remember what it is. Yeah, they just put like
Enzo Fernandez was like 120 mil, wasn't he?
Yeah, they put like 80, 100 million on just like 17-year-old kids.
Protecting an asset, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's something about like in the rules over there though that they have to put a release clause in the contract.
Spain they do, don't
they have to have, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Makes sense. Sporting, yeah. Just ridiculous money. I remember we was after someone before ages ago, a few years back, and they quoted something like 80 million for a release clause. It was like an 18-year-old kid. It was like, what?
Yeah.
It's weird. I like this. I didn't know about this. So actually saying here, I don't know if it's relevant to the podcast.
Yeah, I see that.
I didn't see this. I didn't
know this was a thing. But
no, I didn't know that.
Fuck against where Domestos can't. He'll go anywhere where there's a camera, won't he?
Yeah. He doesn't want to coach it, does he? Do everything else but.
Yeah. Just like, why Dragons Den? He wanted to be a fucking Labour politician last week.
Yeah, he's done with Salford, isn't he, now? That ship sailed. They're not getting media coverage as they used to be. So now he's bored of that.
Yeah, everyone's moved to Wrexham now.
Exactly. Wrexham's a new media darling.
But how much money has he got? Well, saying that,
I don't think he's got as much as it. You need to be rich for that show, don't you? You got to have tens of millions to be on that kind of show.
But a lad I used to play cricket with, his wife's one of the Dragons now, and I didn't know how bloody rich she was.
Share his number on the podcast.
Still at it. I'd be on the blower during myself. Sponsor the podcast.
Get a sponsor. Sponsor a wonderful podcast.
I mean, I say when I play cricket with them, I'm talking under 13s here. Yeah, he's got a 20 million net worth apparently. So is that all it takes to get on there? How much Simon's missus has got for? Well done, Simon. Oh yeah, it's not. It's on the list. Harry Kane, Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
interesting. Do you think you'll go? Anybody? No.
It's Tottenham won't sell though, will they? They'll keep him till his contract runs out.
They might have to now. They've just slung 60 million on James Maddison.
Yeah,
they've got him out there.
I think he looks like he's going there, yeah, and it looks like they're going to pay what Leicester want, which is stupid.
But they're desperate on it. The thing is that this isn't an investment on Maddison. This is an investment on Kane. They're going to spend all this money there to keep him at the club. They're desperate to do anything to prove they can build a squad around him. But if I was there, I wouldn't fall for it. It's like, no, you've had enough years with me in my best form for us to win something. We haven't won something. We come close, but we bottled it, and we had an awful season last season. So no, but yeah, he'll have to waste another year, another 2 years at Tottenham before is it one more year on his deal?
1 year on his deal.
I mean, if any club needs to go for him, it needs to be Man United. They need a striker. It makes so much sense. If they see that buying, they're getting them for 65 mil. We're talking.
Yeah.
And United don't spend that. I mean, they missed out on Alvarez, missed out on Haaland, they missed out on whoever it was. I think like Bruno Fernandes, when they finally signed him, we finally stumped up the money. It was like, if you got him 6 months earlier, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, Kane will take them to that next level again now.
And this is why Kane with Germany. Record. Scored 30 goals in that shit team last season. He's still got it, like I say, but Man United, it's really the only realistic move for him.
Like saying, when he's older, he's sat in his rocking chair and he sells to his grandkids or whatever. What did you ever win, Grandad? I got the most goals. Like, what trophies did you win? Absolutely nothing.
I've got a few golden boots. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Grandad. Bless him.
Because they'd be contenders with them, wouldn't they? I think Man United would be genuinely contenders with. I know that they'd beat City, but they've done all right, haven't they, this season? So I think with Kane up front,
Tottenham won Harry Maguire and drafted Sancho, from what I've seen.
I have him. Have that on 100 mil if I'm United. Sancho and he was Maguire, happily.
Yeah, both of them.
Just do it. You pissed money on other players. Why not do it on a good player?
I always makes you laugh. I would take that chance on Sancho.
Ooh.
Because
Eddie Howe doesn't like him, does he? Well, no, I don't think he is, to be fair. But it's the attitude thing, isn't it? He just seems so nonchalant, and his form has just been so patchy. I don't know if I know Liam was probably thinking he signed Anthony Gordon, so I don't know. But I do like Sancho as well. It's just weird that he's all that form he had in Germany just disappeared. It's a shame.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a player there. Just needs somebody who believes in him to get him to believe in himself again. And he has the kind of manager who can do that.
I mean, there's a player there in Dele Alli, but he's been too busy. Don't want to take the piss, but painting his fingernails and doing his hair for the past 2 years. So, you know what I mean? It's got nothing to do with a player being in there.
Jesse Lingard, same boat.
Yeah, melt him. I can't stand him. I've seen he's been talking today saying that he wants a new challenge. Like, God.
He's a challenge.
Mate, you balled it. You should have joined West Ham. You should have joined West Ham. You had a good career at West Ham. And you thought you could be better.
I mentioned Saudi to him and he was like, I'd do it. Of course you would. Of course you would.
Because no fucker else allowed you. Egotistical maniac.
Because he's on too much money, isn't he, for his poor output.
Can't wait for us to get linked with him tomorrow now, honestly. Honest to God. Monday morning's going to come. Jesse Lingard, Everton shirt.
I think we'll be linked with him as well.
Rest in peace, Liam.
Liam will be doing his panpipe dance, what he does.
I'm doing the moonwalk instead.
Fucking hell. We've got a lot of Man United shit to talk about. But we'll start with the tenuous Man United link, and that is the one that we have in our title here. Rio reckons he'd be worth £170 million in today's money, 400 grand a week. What? I mean, I've got a bit of an axe to grind with Rio anyway, so.
I'm sure Andy's got an opinion on him as well as a former Leeds defender.
Yeah. But
you left them when they were good.
You're a central defender, mate. Calm yourself down.
He was a good player for us. I rated him, but then
he was a good player for everybody.
Yeah,
then he went
at least he was quality, wasn't it?
Went to that red shite, and then that's just unforgivable, isn't
it? I mean, yeah, I don't think any of us have really got a soft spot for Man United, but we can't deny the fact that he was a hell of a player.
No, that's why I put it on there, because I feel that he knows he's going to attract attention from that comment, but I don't necessarily think he's far wrong. I wouldn't say, I think 170 mil is a bit too far, but if Maguire's 80 mil, if it costs you that much to get a top defender when Maguire did have the respect and reputation, I think Rio probably would be close to 100.
Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? You've got that Harry Maguire was 80 million thing. And it's hard to... because there's no way in hell Maguire's as good as peak Ferdinand. So
no, and obviously Van Dijk and Maguire, yeah.
So, it's a tough one. But 170, he's living in cookie right there.
But look at Man City. They're signing that Gvardiol for 100 million euros, aren't they? Yeah. So now a top centre-back is costing you close to that. So, maybe 90 to 100 million.
What did Liverpool pay for Van Dijk? Was that about 75 or something, wasn't it? 70?
Yeah.
The thing is, again, it all depends on how much the club wants them for, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Wanted Van Dijk, and they was like, no, that's too much.
And how much
tax?
How much the selling club want to make on them as well? Obviously, they set a price, don't they? So,
well, Southampton and Liverpool have got a good relationship, don't they? Where they do so much business together that Liverpool will just pay what Southampton normally asks for, and Southampton know they can kind of grease the wheel a little bit. Van Dijk was a bloody good defender, but it's an interesting
emphasis on the word was.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell's happened to him.
No, he's
did he get injured or something? Like, did he have a bad injury?
He had that long-term injury, and he's never been the same since he came back.
What happened? How did he get injured? I can't remember.
I don't know. No, I wasn't there.
To be fair,
you rack your brain, Liam, you can think about what actually happened.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood back in training at Man United.
But I think
he goes to Saudi, and that's fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
But I was really interested in this because in this discussion, all the charges have been dropped, haven't they? So there's no investigation out on him right now. Technically, Man United could say there are no charges against him. He can play. They could say we're going to ignore any potential evidence that's come out.
That's the thing. Like, I'm all for people who've been wrongly accused getting what they deserve when it all goes away, but there's a shit ton of public evidence that suggests that it might not be as bad as what he was arrested for and what he's accused of, but he's not a nice guy. We know that for a fact. We've heard it.
And they've got things as well. Anthony might be facing some charges. Didn't he do something to his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend as well?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
There's a couple of players actually that have been accused, ain't there? There was another player that's been accused of assault. But the problem with Greenwood is girlfriend. The problem is Greenwood's obviously too valuable, isn't he? To throw away. That's why Man United are taking their time with it, because he was a bloody good forward before all this happened.
They'll be changing the name to Pentonville FC soon, won't they?
Prison FC is looking very strong this season.
But yeah, like I say, I don't mind people, because obviously footballers are in the public eye. It's easy money for people to come up with a story and get paid by the papers for it.
We know they do. We know that happens. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's happened too many times in the past. So when a footballer gets arrested and gets cleared of it, fine, let's crack on, continue. But in his case, there's just too much there.
Will he have to go abroad, do you think, then? Just because the fans are going to be brutal, aren't they? It's going to be distracted from Man United every week.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that he's being cleared.
His name is mud, isn't it, in this country? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And even people who serve their time, they come out and they get another contract and they still get pelters. They can't go back to it because it's a public-facing job.
Yeah.
And I don't like that either, mind, because they've paid the time, they've served, whatever. I don't think anybody's past actions should reflect who they are.
Yes, Ched Evans had that, didn't he? I remember Ched Evans, he was...
Unless you're Adam Johnson.
Unless you're Adam.
But yeah, it's a tough one. And like I say, just because of the nature of the job, it's a difficult one to pull off.
And it usually matters how famous they are, because Luke McCormack, I did a story about him a few months ago. He's killed 2 people from drink driving, I think it was, or dangerous driving. And he was only a Football League player, but because he flew under the radar, he managed to still get a new club, and people didn't make too much of a fuss about it. But the minute you get to a bigger name, obviously it becomes more of a media story, and it becomes impossible for the club to justify keeping them.
What happened with Mendy from City. Did that what happened to that?
The trial's underway.
Oh, did it go with it?
One of them is he's been accused by so many. So I think the majority of charges have been dropped, but he's got another trial right now for another sexual assault. So we'll see if how he does that.
That was that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember the City Defender lots of accusations. Yeah, so I didn't know that. There we go. Moving on to slightly less controversial topics. David De Gea's in line for a new deal. Is the sentient worm with a goatee? Is he mental, or is it a good move?
Well, didn't he sign a contract or you agreed a contract? Then Man U took it away from him. That's what I read earlier.
I don't know.
He didn't want a pay cut, did he? I do know. I remember that. That was a story that was a few months ago. He did not want a pay cut.
It said on Twitter earlier that he's agreed to take a cut on his wages of 325 grand a week or something, and then the contract was all ready to be signed. Then Man United pulled it away.
Taking a cut on his wages that are 325, or he was taking a 325 grand cut.
That are 325.
Well, Man United aren't going to want to lose him for free, are they? They could get him on a new deal and then just sell him in 6 months' time if they could. So
who'd want to buy him now? That's the thing. They missed the chance to sell him to Madrid when they forgot to turn on the fax machine. They missed the chance then because no one will touch him now.
I think he can go. He can go to Spain. I think he can go out to Spain.
I still think he's got plenty.
He'll go
He'll have plenty of
Athletic Bilbao or something. I don't know if he's Basque, but you know what I mean. He'll go somewhere like that.
I just read something on Twitter quickly, and it says Eric Ten Hag is the reason behind the withdrawal of David De Gea's contract. Level of ruthlessness shown by a manager.
Yeah. So we haven't triggered his year option. Hopefully, we'll get the Interkeeper in. As long as you got as well. So.
There's the article. Sorry, it's on that Sport Bible on Twitter. I don't know if it's credible or not, but it says De Gea signed a contract extension with Man United only for the club to then back out. The Spaniard had agreed to a drastic wage cut from his current £375,000 per week deal, only for Man United to not then sign the contract.
Yeah. You're paying a keeper nearly 400 grand a week.
Shit, that's bad.
Fans aren't really upset at the prospect of him leaving as well at this point, which says a lot, doesn't it? With how it's gone for him.
I mean, we've said this plenty of times on here before that like keepers are only remembered for the mistakes for the most part.
Yeah.
They're never as bad as what people think, but De Gea has had some high-profile clangers. Let's be honest.
And it's his kicking as well. He's never really improved his kicking. Like you see, goalkeepers now have to be able to play the ball at their feet, whereas De Gea so often just puts it out into touch or just can't find teammates. So that definitely must be in the thinking of Ten Hag. You must think, well, there's better goalkeepers around, and if he believes in himself that he can win more at that club, so the goalkeeper has to go if he's not a good fit. And obviously with the contract running out, it's probably the best timing, isn't it?
Dean Henderson was supposed to be next Gordon Banks, according to most United fans. What's happened to him? I mean, he went to Forest and loan, he's got injured. Like, do you know what I mean? I thought he was supposed to be the second coming. He was
meant to literally replace De Gea, wasn't he? He was meant to come in and take that spot off him, and never did.
He was another Man United player involved with the Coppers as well. One, he had something against him as well.
I think so.
Yeah, they are mean machine, aren't they?
Nice reference, I like it. Man United ownership saga won't be resolved in time for the new season. Brackets, ha 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 ha. The Rockets are on the running sheet. I'll just put that on myself. Yeah, it's not going well. I mean, Ash has put something up here. Have you seen the protest?
I know Bash is livid. Yeah. So Bash is not happy.
I do one thing on that though. Have you seen it?
Yeah, there's 5 people there.
It's so the one I've seen is quite a few, but it's so funny because they're all wearing red Man United shirts. What they probably bought from the club store. Do you know what I mean? There's a couple, quite a few got the golden yellow, golden green, whatever you want to call it is.
Yeah.
But
if they're bought from JD's in London.
Yeah. Got the train up, but right, go on.
That must have been the problem that the picture I had, though, there was only a few of them outside. The rest hadn't arrived yet. They were still in Waterloo.
But I mean, it's just I mean, credit to them. I mean, on a Tuesday afternoon, going to the stadium and doing a little protest, but come on, if you're going to stick it to them, don't buy the shirts. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Agree. Blackpool know how to protest. My God, they held a proper boycott where they had no fans in the stadium or the home games for like a season. And I remember the last game of the season, they threw tennis balls on the pitch and got the game abandoned. They knew how to form a protest, But it must be annoying for United fans.
Because Newcastle fans have been doing that at Goodison for the past 10 years. It's weird, but
it's just frustrating that the owners are kind of flirting with the idea of selling, but we know they're not going to sell. They're not serious, are they? I swear they had the offer for close to $6 billion, which is what they wanted, but no deal. So yeah, they wouldn't sell, would they? It's a great investment for them. They've made so much more investment on their money. They put all that debt in the club, and now the club's profiting. So why would they want to get rid of Man United? The brand is global.
Yeah, honestly, some United fans I just laugh at because I've got a couple at work and I go to them like, so why don't you like the Glazers? And I just sit there and just sit back and just let them try and explain to me, like, because they don't do anything. I'm like, you signed Anthony for 90 million. You signed Maguire, X, Y, Z. You signed this. So they've done what you've asked for. You got Ten Hag. You asked for this person. You asked for this person. He's done what he wants. So explain. Well, it's our money. It's not their money. I'm like, well, can you prove it to me? Because like I have no idea. Like I'm an Everton fan. I'm looking from the outside to explain to me like, oh, it's too long-winded. I've got to do other things. Like,
I always like these protests as well when people are protesting because they win a few games and the protests stop, don't they? It's only when they're doing really poor that they start protesting. It's like when the players and they start winning some games and they go, oh, this is ace, we're really good. We are. They lose a few games again. Right, everyone, get the owners out, get them out, like it's their fault.
Because at one stage they were on for the quad, and genuinely, a lot of United fans were saying, "Oh, we might win the quad. We could win the league. We could win the Carabao Cup. Might get the FA Cup, and we'll get some. We'll win the Conference League, Europa League, whatever it was." Yeah. And they were genuine about it because they beat Barcelona away. Oh, wherever it was, over 2 legs.
Yeah, that was European, wasn't it? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, obviously, life hasn't been the same since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, but it's not like they stopped winning stuff. They've still won plenty of trophies since then. And,
the Glazers were never popular, were they? Before, when the rumours were coming in, they didn't want them in the first place. They didn't want the Americans taking charge of the club. And when they came in with debt, they weren't happy with that either. And obviously, there's the reports of the Glazers kind of giving themselves high dividends. So not really asset stripping, but giving themselves quite a bit of money from the club, which fans weren't happy with either. And it's just that disconnect, isn't it? And obviously they've got a lot of ideas because they're American. They've had ideas they want to change in the Premier League, and that just makes them alienate yourself. It does, yeah. It just alienates them from fans even more, doesn't it? When you're already unpopular, the last thing you need to be doing is talking about the American game and saying, "Oh, we need to introduce us to the English game." So they weren't popular from minute one, and like I say, they've spent money obviously, but I think the club aren't happy that there's not a sense of direction there. And the fact that they came in with debt pissed a lot of people off too.
Yeah, they take the dividends every year and remortgage the club, and they're still not paying off the debt.
The thing is, with Man U fans, we always say it. Me and my mates, my brother and stuff, we always say they're just so used to winning all the time. They've just had ups all the time. They've never really had any down years. They might have had one or two here and there. You think to yourself, try supporting our shit where we don't win fucking games for months or even for God knows long, get relegated to League One and everything, and then see how many turn up. It makes you laugh.
Yeah, have Ridsdale and Ken Bates. Yeah,
this is it. Yeah.
I mean, Liam, Scott, Bill Kenwright.
I mean, they talked a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, rather, just before obviously it came into the last couple of games of the season. And there was an Everton fan and a Liverpool fan, they were talking. It was like, the Liverpool fan was saying to the Everton fan, he was like, I'm jealous. He's like, what do you mean jealous? He's like, well, okay, yeah, we've had European championships for a couple of years, we've won the league, this, but we've not done anything in the past couple of years. We've been like, okay, flirting with the top four, but at least you have been like, you've got somewhere to go to for every single game. Like you've got to fight. You've got that. Like, fuck off. I'd happily finish 5th, 6th for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Myself on the final day of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep,
for sure. I say Villa had struggled. Villa had it where Randy Lerner said, "Okay, I'm not putting any more into the club," so we had to sign players from bloody League One to make it for a Premier League squad. Obviously, we got relegated. The next guy comes in, buys a club with all this debt, doesn't have the money he claims to have, nearly had us bankrupt. We had a winding up order. Then we had to get saved by a billionaire. So obviously we're nice and cushy now, but Man United's struggles are it's kind of like that. They're very it's like first world problems, isn't it?
Yeah,
I understand that they're not happy with the direction the club's going. I'm not saying the Rays have been great, but there are a lot of bad owners where they're not putting in any kind of money to where they should be. So it could be a lot worse.
In the league table of shit owners, they're not even in the European spots.
Exactly.
One thing I need to say though before I move on from United. So Jack knows, I've already spoke to him about it. I think it was yesterday. So obviously H was at Glastonbury and he was wearing the new United kit, weren't he?
Yeah.
So there was a couple of United fans that we both know, and he put it in like this group chat, and one of them was like, "Love it, ruining the Glazers release." I'm like, come on, who do you think gave him the shirt?
Exactly, he's just advertising it.
Free
He did not listen to DHgate, did he? Fucking hell.
Exactly.
I read it, put my head in my hands. I was like, oh my god. And I sent it to Jack, and he was just like, do you know what I mean? It's just
fucking hell,
proper stick it to the Glazers. He's got in the back of the shop. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And like clubs don't leak stuff early as well now, just to beat other clubs to it. They do it all the time to make them try and make it look like it wasn't deliberate. And so they do it all the time. They love that exposure.
Look at the stadium and training ground. What is good? Oh, name dropper.
That is true to be as well.
Who's this H?
H
is the music video, is it?
My mate Bash was in the music video with him, yeah.
Oh, is he? I can't stand the music Mel.
Yeah.
But,
Not very nice, mate. He's watching the show.
No,
I
like
it.
Wow.
Got no beef with Bash.
Man City are trying to sign Rice. Do you think it's to thwart Arsenal's title bid? Crippy.
Did anyone hear what Eni Lucas said on Talk Sport about
Yes, which has now been deleted.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is about bidding up players or telling somebody to go and bid them up so they can get them for more money, bet more money on them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she reckons there's like collusion between Pep Guardiola and Arteta, and to sort of make that Arteta said to Pep, put in a bid so that Arsenal board take this seriously and put an offer, that kind of thing. I'm not saying that she's necessarily wrong about the idea of collusion, but I don't imagine that Arteta's calling Pep up saying do that so my Arsenal board or pay up. That's a bit far-fetched to me.
That's a bit weird, isn't it? Because if you do that and then West Ham accept, he's fucked.
Exactly, yeah. You have to sign the guy. But I totally think that's a ploy to stop Arsenal from strengthening their squad. John Stones can play midfield now, and they're going to get Kovacic as well, aren't they? I don't see how they're going to have Rice. They've got him, so I don't see how they're going to have Rice and Rodri both together. There's no way Rice could be on the bench. And buddy Calvin Phillips is still there. So I don't know.
If they bring Rice in, that's got to be Phillips' days numbered there. Got to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, something's not right. But I don't know. He's Arsenal bound. He's one of those.
I know that they need that homegrown quota, don't they? Obviously, Pep does need a homegrown quota, so he has to sign the best English players he can. But it'd be weird to spend 100 on someone like Rice and not play him. It was weird spending 60 on Calvin Phillips from to sit on the bench, to be fair. So, I don't understand that one. Rice is a hell of a player as well.
Harry Kane. Kane and Haaland up front. Go 4-4-2.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible. Kane and Haaland up front. Jesus.
Could you imagine?
Tucked him behind.
De Bruyne just flicking them in.
If they do go for Rice, how much money are they going to spend? Because he's signing this centre-back for 100 odd mil. Rice for 100 odd mil. I mean, that's not.
And this is when they've already had a heat for financial fair play, haven't they? And yet they could spend 200 plus on new players this summer. They don't care, do they? They don't.
West Ham loving
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, West Ham must be.
100%. Yeah, they're rubbing their hands. They must be rubbing their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just batting away all these sub 100 offers. We've got a potential Diallo to Leeds. Andy?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I was on about that to my mate last night. He was a Man U fan. He thought I was on about Dallo. I was like, no, the young kid. But I haven't really read much into it. Is he another winger?
Yeah,
he's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
brilliant
insane at
Yeah.
Sunderland.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, again, another winger. Fucking hell. That's all we seem to
They'll
sign.
get you up there. They'll
but
take
they'll
you
lose
up there, Andy, won't they? Some of
We might as
it
well
will
sign-
so.
Get rid of Melier, sign a winger and stick him in goal. I mean, it's like Marsh. He was always linked to wingers. You're thinking, why you don't play no width? But yeah, I don't know. I presume it'll just be a loan with maybe a loan. Is he? What transfer fee would he command if we was to try and buy him? Would it be a loan to buy or just a loan for a season? I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Be 20 plus if you did buy him, but I don't think Man
I
United want
wouldn't
to sell
see
him.
Man United wanting to lose him permanently.
I think they respect he's going to be a good player, but not quite ready yet for big time.
Yeah,
I think we will.
Like 25 mil to 40 mil, rising up to 40. United, so they won't let him go on the cheap. I don't think.
Yeah, we'll be alone then. Yeah, I think that's the best way we'll be going this year. I think get a few loans in and try and keep a few players, see how we go. But yeah, I'd be excited to see him. Yeah, any decent caliber players from the Premiership coming over are also going to be welcome.
Yeah.
I want to go for Palmer from City. I want to go for him if we could try and tempt him because he's out the pecking order now, isn't he?
Oh, I like him. Yeah, the young lad. Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, I see him when he played in the under-21s against us and he just absolutely bossed it. He was quality, he was.
Yeah. And he needs game time as well, and it's going to be tough for him with that. So many good players in front of him. So yeah, he might fancy that.
That's one good thing of the Championship, though, isn't it? You get the pickings of the top teams, youngsters, if they're any good. You know what I mean? You get a chance to bring them in. So
yeah.
I think that's the way we will go.
Like, if you over the Huddersfield, no offense to them. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll definitely want to go. Yeah. Leeds who are going to come up or Huddersfield.
I agree.
Who are going to.
Yeah.
You're choosing Leeds.
There you go. You ready for Crippy?
Crippy, Uncle Roy might be staying at Palace.
I love me Uncle Roy. The thing is, I want him to leave because I know what's going to happen if he stays. He'll go tits up and then he'll get sacked in January. Yeah, he'll get hounded out by all the fans. He'll be a pariah. I know you can't.
You'll have to put him up.
I know.
Care for him.
He's done a great job, but Roy, just retire in peace now, or just take a job upstairs. Be a technical director on nice money where you don't do fuck all. Just do that, Roy. Just take the easy way out, mate. Honestly, it's not worth it.
Get on the blower, get him to.
I know it's going to happen because Palace don't tend to have 2-3 good seasons in a row, do they? And they're the club. They're always going to be a tough team to beat at home, but it's like they're never going to do much, are they? They don't spend enough money to do much. They've got a good team. They do well enough. They'll be mid-table thereabouts. But they have the old season where they struggle if they sell a player without replacing them properly, and they can have a good season if they sign a good gem, then they lose them a year later. So
Have they lost Zaha already?
He's forever linked to it. Looks like he is, doesn't it?
Looks like he's going to Saudi.
Yeah, Saudi. And he does a lot there. As much as people dislike him, he does carry that team. He does carry that team on his back a lot of the times.
Yeah, when he's missing, you can tell they miss him when he's not playing.
They can't win without him. There's like a stat, isn't there, where without when he doesn't play, they just rarely ever get a point. So, yeah. Roy, don't do it.
Yeah, so it depends on Zaha. I mean, they've still got at least one of them.
And there's they got a few good players in there. Zaha's actually
got injured for France under 21s last night, I think.
Did he?
Well, there you
go. I know how bad it was. Like, but
Berger. That's the under 21s. Yeah, even under 21s are flying at the minute.
It's no squad though. The squad's bloody good, isn't it? Most of the players play regularly. It's like, fair play. This team should do well.
Yeah. Even Anthony Gordon's getting game time. Man.
He's got a good record for them. Yeah, he's solid for them. Cameron Archer, Villa player, he plays at front. Guy just can't stop scoring. Really good poacher.
I mean, what's annoying is we played Garner at right back the last 3 games of the season because obviously we had Coleman and Patterson injured. Playing right back from under 21s now. I was like, he's a midfielder. Do this to him.
Not anymore.
I'm literally filling sound.
Right then. We've got Newcastle, Aston Villa, Everton, Leeds. Who should leave? Who should stay? I mean, we can't go through the entire squads, but
some names that
you want gone. or ones that you absolutely want to hang on to?
We'll be here a long time when you come to me.
I was going to say, Andy, we'll start with you because I'm pretty sure 95% of them should fuck off, in your view.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to stay?
Somerville, Nonto, Voba.
Need.
Got need. Obviously, a lot of the youngsters. I want to see the youngsters break through this year. I want to see JB play. I want to see Drame play. I want to see Helder play. But the old guard and most of the Americanisms who have been brought in, obviously, I want Adams to stay. Is the only exception, but he looks like he's going. We need a new goalie.
I was ask about Tyler Adams.
We need a new goalie. The hologram can go for all I care. Aylin, Cooper, all the old guard who are still there from League One days need to go. So, yeah, pretty much all of them. And then obviously Bamford. My God. Please no.
Fresh squad.
Try to play with 10 players.
Said to our kids the other day, if we line up on the 8th of August Cardiff game and we've got Bamford and Aylin that playing, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to go and start taking knitting or something. But the thing is with Harrison, he's still got 5 years left, so we'll get some decent money for him. And he don't warrant a place. He has 3 or 4 good games. His nickname's often called Harrison. He has 3 or 4 good games and he just goes missing for 7 or 8. Dog shit.
My nickname's often called Harrison as well. I'll just forget anything.
But yeah, like I say, Harrison, he's one of them players. When he's on it, he's good. He is good. He's one of our key players, but he's just not on it enough. So he can go.
Yeah. Liam, who stays and goes?
Well, we need a right back to replace Coleman. We need a left back because we've only got one at the club. We need another centre back because we've lost Mina and Cody. I'd tell Keane and Holgate's apparently going to Sheffield United on loan, maybe. So we've only got Branthwaite and Godfrey. I think that's it. So there's got to be another defender I can't think of.
It's not really much scope for you to get rid of anybody.
We need to replace Garn again because we replaced him with him. We need to replace him again. We need another winger because Damari Gray might be going. We need a striker because Carlo Lewin is, made of glass. So, yeah. I mean, I'd take Nonto, Somerville, Tyler Adams, all 3 of them. And the thing is, we've been linked with all 3 of them. I mean, even Rodrigo, but, 15 goals last season, 3 mil. It's a no-brainer, even if it would be for a 2-year deal.
I agree.
I know. That's sort of a masterpiece from our board there again. Buy someone for 30 million, put a release clause for 3 million in it. Well done.
Yeah, ridiculous
that. Well done.
It's just head slapping. You just don't understand. It is. But it's like we said last year. It's just Hollyoaks every week. When something new comes out, and you just go, "Yeah, fair enough." You just accept it now. You just know how ridiculous it is. If it came out like in the contract, Bamford had to wear clown boots and. Do you know what I mean? You just go, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that sounds about right.
What kind of fucking visual is that? It's classic.
Yeah, I know.
It's just ridiculous, though. And another one, just flipping back to me again, sorry to make it all about me tonight, but another player who needs to be gone is Firpo, because I've no idea how he's even still a footballer. He's just a wheelie bin in a kit. He can go.
Yeah, there we go. Jack's got the answer to all your prayers again, Liam. Anyway, Liam, you're going to answer the actual question this time. Who stays and who goes? Not who you want.
You're on about buying half our team.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd take Tyler Adams all day. I think he'd be the steal that we need in midfield because Garnegay, he's not got the legs anymore. I mean, weirdly enough, I seen was it Opta Stats put something on Twitter the other day. Only Rodri was better in terms of, I think it was interceptions and like winning the ball back or something.
And he's been missing half the season. He's season. He's still in the top 5 interceptions and he's been missing half the season.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
So it's a no-brainer. But the main thing is just a striker. We've not had a striker for 3 years. I mean, sorry, Richarlison, but even then, he wasn't like a proper striker. We signed him as a inside forward and as he played as a striker and he did the business. But We couldn't rely on him. The full last season, he was injured all season as well, but he played. We just need a striker. That's it. If we had a striker last season in January, we would have been safe with plenty to spare.
We've got one going if you're on about raiding us.
The bottom line is you're supposed to weak to let anybody go. Everybody has to stay, but you need to bring a lot of more people in.
Well, Demario Gray's apparently going, so that's gone 20 mil, 25 mil, whatever it is. Happy with that. Alex Sims might be going 5 mil, whatever you want to say. Do you know what I mean? It's happy. I'm happy for that. Mason Holgate can go. I mean, I like him, but he's not first team. Michael Keane's just. I don't even have a word to describe how bad he is as a footballer. But he's just so bad. So, I mean, like James Garner's very, very good, and he will be good in a couple of years. But it's such a big ask to put the pressure on him at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. And like I said, he's just turning to Phil Neville because he's playing right back for England. So that's what it's going to be. Like, well, James Garner can play right back, so we don't need that position anymore because Coleman's there. We've got Patterson, so don't need to cover that one. Godfrey can play a left back, so we won't need to sign another left back either. All right, so who's going to play centre back then? Do you know what I mean? It's just a shambles. Just lost me in a Cody.
That's exactly how we was under Bielsa with Dallas because he was just utility man. Oh, we'll just put Dallas there, but we need a goalie. Oh, he'll play there. Don't matter.
Yeah.
might do a better job, to be fair, you know.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, to be fair.
Crippy, what about Villa? Who stays and goes?
We probably need a secondary goalkeeper because I don't know if Robin Olsen will stay. And there's talk of Martinez being linked with Man United and Tottenham sometimes. I still think we'll keep him, so that might be okay. But maybe a backup goalkeeper. We might need a centre back because Callum Chambers and Courtney House have been pretty bunk for us and can go. So we could do it. I think we're going to look for. We've been linked with that Pau Torres from Villarreal, the Spanish guy. We're going to be linked with a few players from Spain now. We've got Monchi and Emery together. So centre back we definitely need a right back because for some reason we let Ashley Young go on a free, even though he had a good season and he could play left back and right back and he was happy to be on the bench. Really didn't get that, and he's homegrown. So I really didn't understand that at all. Like his attitude was on point. He could play both roles. Played a lot of games last season, and he kept Cash out of the team quite a lot of times. So we're going to have to sign another right back. We might have to get another left back as sort of replacing Digne because he's not been too good. He's been replaced by Moreno. So if we get rid of Digne, which is hard to do because he's not cheap, but we'll have to replace him. We might stick with Digne though, so it's not essential. Centre mid, we've obviously got signed Tillemans, so we're pretty good there now. Got him, Ramsey, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, so that's pretty good. But it's like wide, we might need a winger just because Coutinho is probably gonna. I think we'd accept anything for him. He's been pretty garbage since we signed him permanently. He was good on loan. The minute we signed him permanently, just awful. Doesn't seem to fancy it. So I think we're going to get another winger in. We've been in with Harvey Barnes obviously for a little while. So that'd be a hell of a replacement. And I think we need another striker. I like Barnes. And I think we need a striker just because Cameron Archer's really good, but he's not going to start over Ollie Watkins ever because Archer's a poacher. Watkins can hold the ball up. Archer can't do that yet. Keenan Davis can hold the ball up, but he can't finish. His scoring record's terrible for Villa in the Premier League. Good player, nice guy, but just, I think he could probably play for a relegation-threatened Premier League team at best or a promotion-chasing Championship one. Because he does score goals in the Championship. You just can't seem to cut it in the Premier League. So, I think we need a right back, maybe a centre back, but not essential because we do have the numbers there. Definitely a winger and a striker. So probably 3 key positions there. Not terrible.
Again, wasn't the question, but okay.
I mean, I've remembered our other centre back with Tarkovsky. It's just come to my head. Completely forgot about him.
I mean, do you want some names that we're getting rid of?
By the way, like.
Yeah, you wrote the bloody thing. The whole thing was about who stays no goals.
Okay, well, I'll say no. I'll tell you. I tried to say goes. So Callum Chambers, Courtney House, they go. Get rid of them. In my opinion, Luca Digne, I'd get rid of, but he's hard to sell.
You just complain about right back. Callum Chambers can play right back. Can't be like that.
He's crap. Yeah, but he's crap. He's crap. You can have him. You need the right back. You can have him. I think Marvis Nakamba, he was on loan to Luton last season. He's teetering on the edge. He might go, might stay. Because Coutinho, I'd get rid of. He's got to go. Rubbish. And yeah, that's it. Keenan Davis will probably get sold or loaned out. The rest of them are all valuable, but they won't start. So yeah, that's a few there. What about you then, Ash? How's Newcastle looking?
We're all right. I mean, there's obviously Ryan Fraser we need to get rid of because he's a toxic little man. There's talk of him going as part of the Livramento deal, which is ideal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alan St. Maximin, his time is done for me. Get him out.
Yeah.
While people will still pay money for him. It's not that he's a bad player by any means. He just doesn't fit what we do.
How likes him though? Doesn't he really likes him?
I keep saying that, but there's also like the other flip side is he hardly ever plays him because he doesn't trust him enough. When we don't have the ball, he's not interested.
Sadly written all over that deal, isn't it? Surely they'd love a player like him.
Not a bad shout, actually, yeah. Who else? Lascelles, yeah, he'll probably go. Carl Darlow's on his way out. And then everyone else can hang
apparently
about.
we was looking at him as well, Darlow.
Yes, Blackburn, Hull and Middlesbrough also after him, so...
Yeah.
Is Lascelles big with championship teams? Because he's not a bad defender for a bit lower down, is he?
No, he's a decent defender. There's talk of him going back to Forest.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
He still could it in the Premier League. He's just
yeah, for sure. Not Newcastle level anymore.
Half Premier League. He was good for us when we were battling in the lower half. But yeah, for the rest of the squad, I know there's no room for sentimentality in football again, which is why I said about Alan St. Maximin, his time's up. But so many players that I would have got rid of last season did so well last year to get us into the Champions League that I think they all deserve to at least have a shot at playing in that competition.
Taste of it,
yeah. So I wouldn't get rid of too many this year.
Is that you trying to say that you're Matt Ritchie and Paul Dummett can stick around?
Oh, Dummett can go, but I want Matt Ritchie to stick around.
He loves Matt Ritchie.
I want him to be a coach at Newcastle.
Right. It does seem how he does love Matt Ritchie. Yeah, it seems to be key, doesn't he? Key in that dressing room, I think.
The club released a video the other day, like going around the squad, asking them their unsung heroes, and so many of them said Matt Ritchie because it's just about what he brings to the team off the pitch, and that's why there's still like talk of him going, but I would like him to stay.
Yeah.
Not to play.
I can't see him playing next season. Yeah, I can't see that. I'd be amazed if he did.
Yeah, but yeah. We do need to bring a lot of people in, though. That's the problem, and to do that.
So do you need a wide man? You need a wide man for St. Maximin then, another wide man, and maybe you get up front. You got Wilson and Isaac, haven't you?
Yeah, the thing is on the left we're covered because we've got Claire Balding and Isaac can play there as well.
Yeah,
it's the right. We need somebody. We need another option from Almiron, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob Murphy was class last season, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. But whether he can do that
again, he keep it up? Yeah, that's the thing.
So another right side of the tackle would be great. We're getting Tonali in, possibly Livramento. So yeah, another backup keeper as well if we're losing Darlow. We're not even sure if Lloris is going to hang around. So definitely another backup keeper. But not a lot. Oh Christ, we nearly hit the hour and we haven't done Kick Clash. There's not as many confirmed released kits as I thought, or at least there wasn't when I looked the other day. So we'll start off with a Wosu. It's an Arsenal kit.
Nice, like that.
I mean,
I like it. It's traditional. It's like the 90s era, that is, isn't it?
It's nice, but it's not spectacular. I don't think how much different is it from last season?
I mean, it's very similar to the. I remember the Omri knee slide with the O2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
late
90s, early 2000s. Yeah, I do like that. I'll be honest, I like that.
Do you think they okayed the gold when they thought they were going to win the league? Whoops. Your lot, Villa. Not a fan?
It's the sponsor. The sponsor's gross. The kit is alright. It's just the sponsor's gross.
The badge looks like a Chelsea badge as well. Yeah.
The badge is garbage because it's not the shield anymore. And the sponsor's gross because we don't want a betting sponsor anymore. And it's too big. It makes it weird. So yeah, but I like the colour. Yeah, I like the colour though. The colour's nice. You can't beat client blue. We've always got white shorts, blue socks. I like all of that. I'm all good with that. It's just, the bloody Chelsea badge looking thing and the bloody sponsor ruined.
I like it. But I don't like that sponsor. Nah.
Yeah.
And I've never been a fan of claret and blue kits, but I like that one for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just take that sponsor off and it's
I agree. That's what all the fans are saying. They all love it. I said if we had acorns, because we sponsored the local hospice, if we had an acorns on the front and then you could have a sleeve sponsor instead, I'd be fine with that. Just don't ruin the front of the shirt.
With a wonky ass sponsor of a betting company that uses fucking pornography to advertise itself.
Yeah, and in 2 years, won't be allowed to have it.
This is nice.
Yeah.
Palace's kit. That is nice.
It is nice.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about it, except you look like Spider-Man.
Well, red and blue are the bold colours, aren't they? You know, when you Chelsea, I think it takes it back to Chelsea, Everton. Lovely Everton blue, that is. I do like that kit a lot.
Very nice, very nice.
Fucking wank. Honestly, God, look at that. Who peeled
It's not the kit, it's the fucking players, man.
Then Chelsea.
Why do they do that? Put them in the kit.
I'm getting the word.
It looks like to me. That just looks like a stag do who's gone on a golf weekend.
Does, yeah, it does.
And he's lost a bet.
Is that the correct Arsenal kit?
Funny. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't like the red. I'll be honest, that Liverpool red. I'm not too keen on it.
He just looks the same as last season's, apart from the colour.
It's no different to anything else. But we slammed Southampton for having James Ward-Prowse in his fucking chinos last week, so at least he wasn't dressed like Rupert the fucking Bear. I mean,
someone looks like a really shit Magnum PI impersonator.
I'll be honest though, out of all three of them, he looks the best in my opinion. Diaz and Nunes look like pillocks.
Yeah,
Diaz looks like he's got
color as well.
It looks like he's
Diaz
got his man
glasses
on.
Yeah, he looks awkward, doesn't he?
Next is Man City's
stop with the casual jeans. Yeah, ridiculous. I do love the blue though. It's nice. I love the blue. I do love it.
I can't tell if I do because the fucking brightness has been whacked up so much on this image.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you?
And the sat on a blue sofa.
Yeah. Very odd choice of release image, but it looks all right.
Yeah.
Preferred last season with the red accent on. But was that last season or the season before? I can't remember.
Couple seasons. Can't remember.
Tottenham kit is just the Tottenham kit.
Zero changes, yeah.
Brazil's 9, R9. I just want him back.
But seriously,
it's not a terrible kit. It's just boring.
Has anything changed? No, it's not. It's decent, but has anything changed?
No. That's how you
just roll the sleeves up and you've got next year's kit.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the ever change. And Newcastle's new one, we finally have a sponsor that suits the kit.
Sponsor.
What is the sponsor?
I think it's a bit too big. It's a bit big, though, isn't it? I love the kit, Ash, but that's a big sponsor.
It's castor all over, though, isn't it?
They've
done it with ours.
Who is the sponsor? What are they?
What was that?
Who are the sponsor? What are they?
It's where they keep people locked up at night.
Saudi Arabian events company.
Right, okay.
They're apparently helping Newcastle build a big fan area outside the ground as well, which is going to be pretty sweet.
They will need a fan base at some stage. So.
A play
Fuck off.
I mean, you can't help really. You literally set me up saying the build.
I know. Walked right into it. But yeah, I like that kit. If they made them in
I like the kit.
Sizes, I'd probably get one. But they don't, so I won't.
I quite like the collar on that one. It looks like a sort of 70s kit, the collar.
Yeah, nice and retro.
Yeah.
Simple, retro, clean, fun. But that's all that there is confirmed at the minute. So at least there'll be at least another round of this.
Big clubs first, wasn't it? Actually, did the big clubs got theirs in early, as they normally do.
Ours will be out in time for Christmas, probably.
Yeah, that was Newcastle when we had Mike Ashley. We used to start the season and then release the kit.
Yeah.
It's just fucking lazy, pointless.
I did a story about Blackpool and the Oystons, and it was, as you can imagine, just an absolute mess with the kits, and just using the same kit as before, not having any money in the club, not putting any money towards equipment and whatnot. So yeah, some clubs are just skinflinting it.
Yeah, I think that's everything covered now, unless anyone's got any pressing issues that they wanted to bring up.
The only one thing I'm going to say is Sigurdsson's time for DC United. That's about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
All his charges get dropped.
There's no evidence. I also feel like we should get some compensation for this. I think it's ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's why we fell for FFP. Just want to point out there.
Well, you should get compo for him not hitting the mustard at Everton as well. I'd say, just for his ability. Like that.
What he's going to say something else.
I thought you were going to say something else.
He cost a lot of money.
We would have won the league.
I prefer Devon.
No one ever knows, do we? Because we never got to see.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's good to say that everything's gone away and he can get his career back on track. Because
he's actually alive. That's all I'm happy about, because he just went off the face of the earth. And
yeah,
he's back. He's alive. Good.
Yeah,
he's not in the cellar.
Horrible thing to be accused of. So hopefully he can just crack on with his life now.
Surprised, man, you didn't sign it.
True. And on that ridiculous bombshell, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for getting involved in the comments. Please do like, share, subscribe. Let's help this channel grow. And we will see you next week at 8 o'clock for more. They think it's all over. Cheers. Bye.